Let's go live now to New South Wales RFS Deputy Commissioner Rob Rogers. Rob Rogers, it's not sounding like great conditions for you over the next couple of days.
Yeah, good morning. No, it's not. Look, we've got a few areas of concern. That south coast area from Maruya south, we still have a lot of uncontained fires, so we're concerned about the potential for those fires to impact on communities there. On the border around south of Delegate, on the New South Wales Victorian border, there's a fire on the Victorian side that is obviously coming up towards New South Wales, which we were trying to deal with overnight, but that'll remain a threat. We've got fire generally in the Snowy Mountains region that is still not contained and threatening a number of rural properties. And then we've got that fire in the ACT that's likely to enter New South Wales either late today or overnight tonight. Now that fire will potentially impact on areas northwest of Micalago, and we're putting in plans for extra trucks, aviation to try and protect properties in those areas. So I think it's fair to say it's going to be a tough weekend for firefighters and residents in those areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are areas that have already done it tough over summer, and we're looking at some new areas of concern as well, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly, and that south coast area, that unfortunately, like the north coast before last year, it's just been dealing with fires now for some time, into the months, not just weeks. So look, those communities are getting a little fire fatigued, I think, because they're quite concerned about that ongoing risk. We just need them to maintain focus through this weekend again, and we're doing as much as we can to try and get containment on these fires. But until we burn those areas out ahead of those fires, there is no containment. So that's our strategy. Right. We've done some work this week, and when we get through this weekend, we'll continue to do more.
Just on the work you have done this week, I know it's somewhat been out of the headlines because the emergency did dissipate somewhat, but for you on the ground, that has remained very much a watch and act, and very much something you've been keeping on top of. What exactly have you been able to do after we saw a bit of that rain and a bit of cooling in temperatures?
Well, what we've been doing is, because those fires, they've been coming out in sort of like fingers from the mountain ranges where those fires are still burning, and they'll continue to do that unless we actually put in back burns to burn out that fuel so they can't keep coming out. So we've actually done a huge amount of work this week. We've had hundreds of firefighters, extra firefighters brought in there from the Sydney and the North Coast to bolster those local resources to try and get that work done. And they've done an enormous amount, but obviously we can't get everything done, so there's still some areas exposed, and that's where we're putting out those maps today to tell people of what our concerns are for this weekend and what our strong advice to people over the weekend for them to do.
And yesterday we all paid tribute to those 3 firefighters from the United States who were killed trying to help us. I'm sure the thanks of a nation goes to them and their families, both yesterday and today.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it was a very tough day. The families were there, of course, and they're going through, as you would expect, some significant grieving process, you know, for them on the other side of the world. And they visited the site also last week. So it's been a really tough week for crews. The firefighters that were first on scene also got to meet the family yesterday, which was tough on the family and the firefighters. So I think it's just been a really tough week all round. And obviously we've done what we can to honour those brave pilots and crew. And obviously now the families will take them home for funerals.
Well, Deputy Commissioner, we can never thank you enough, but thank you for your time this morning.
Thanks very much.